Hi, I'm Russell Melville. I'm actually doing this recording because as a member of the U.S. Armed Forces, I'm currently away on duty, and I felt this is the fitting way for me to introduce myself to you all. Once again, my name is Russell Melville. I've been a member of the community for off and on for the last 23 years. A little bit about me and my background. I was born in the islands, Trinidad to be more precise, immigrated to the U.S., and my life took on from there. On my academic side, educated in Trinidad, England, the U.S., Israel. I studied at Hebrew University in Israel, studied international law there for a year. I studied at Rutgers University, mini MBA Biopharma. I also studied at Rider University, which is my alma mater, and spent some time there. I did a BA program and an MA program at Rider University. Now that's on the academic side. What can I tell you about myself that I think all of you need to know? I'm a proud parent who has a daughter in the school system, wonderful young lady, and just surprisingly enough that we participate in a number of events both in our community and the community surrounding. The South Brunswick community as a whole, I participate in the Girl Scout troop. I teach the troop there about survival skills, how to read a compass, land navigation, some of the techniques that I've utilized in the military. I always thought that it would be beneficial for young ladies to know and have a leg up on the guys. So the Troop 8241 in South Brunswick, they're a force to be reckoned with. You can count on that. Secondly, another thing about myself I can tell you, I volunteered with the Plainsboro Fire Company back in '94, I believe. I started. Spent about 10 years with those guys. And when 9/11 took place, I joined the U.S. Armed Forces. Went away for training, volunteered for my assignment. I have a number of accolades and awards from deployment. I'm currently pending a Soldier's Medal for Heroism. Is that important? No, not so much. I think at the end of the day, everyone who went on the mission with me came back. That's important, okay? Another factor about myself I can tell you is that I lived in the town and I've seen all the transition of the community. I've traveled extensively. As for languages that I speak, I can tell you that apart from speaking English, a bit of Hebrew, a little German here and there, nothing to talk much to, write home about. But I can tell you this, in addition to that, I love meeting people, new cultures, new food, new languages. I've traveled to over 32 countries in the world, and this is not all military duty. A lot of it has either been on vacation or has been on work assignment. As I do this video, in about 72 hours from now, I will be on a plane. Where I'm going, Uncle Sam knows. Anyway, let's get down to some of the questions I think you guys have and want to find out about me. What is my take on a number of issues such as PARC, Whole Child, and I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Gifted and Talented program. So let's start with the Gifted and Talented. We live in a very unique school district. One in that the students in our district, by far, compared with students around the country, we're totally up there. But there is still room where we can put a jolt into the program and do some out-of-the-box thinking. Why is this relevant? This is relevant for several reasons. The kids in our community are craving that additional push, but we need to make sure and balance the push with a sense of creativity. Why is this relevant? It's relevant for several reasons. Because if we give our kids only academia and consistently push only academia and don't allow them to be kids, we therefore create automaton. I had an opportunity to see this firsthand. I volunteered for a program with Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman, where she was asked to sign off on kids who wanted to join military academies. And we had 3 kids from the district participate in this particular event. What was amazing to me is how brilliant the kids from the surrounding district, including the kids from WWP. Now, of course, I was very prideful and raised my chest. But when it came to personality, that was the thing that I felt needed a little work. Now, I've made it my mission to make sure the young men and young women from West Windsor, Plainsboro, when they go on an interview or when they have to venture out to college or any other institution, academia is great, yes. Having a sport is great, yes. But more than anything else, you got to have a personality, okay? So when we talk about gifted and talented, we have a unique program. But we need to, like I stated before, give this program a jolt, a new vibe. Make it a little more open and include more students into the program. The only way to have fair competition and have a fair challenge is to have more people challenge you. This is a plus. I believe the other question that came from members of the district was, what is the recommendation on how the district should address the PARCC test? I'm a strong believer in, if you're following, you're late. If you're leading, you set the example. I think our school district have a unique opportunity here. An opportunity I believe they should take advantage of. How should we take advantage of the PARCC? Well, if we consider when this whole concept on whether or not the test really tests the teacher's ability, that's not what we're focusing on. We are focusing on the quality of students that we are putting through our academic program. Because at the end of the day, as the state just mandated on August 30th, all students from 2021 must complete, and that's a must complete the PARCC. Now, how do we move forward from here? We can lead the way by making sure this program in and of itself is incorporated into our teaching program. We need to make sure that each and every child is not intimidated, not worried or bothered by having to do PARCC assessment. They shouldn't. The mere fact that a student goes through the West Windsor Plainsboro School District, it's an attest to their skill and their ability. I can tell you firsthand, as someone who worked as an administrator at Rider University, I can tell you when I had students from WWP attending the university, once again, is with pride I raise my chest to say, that child is from my district. Know this, PARCC test is not going away. We need to get out ahead of it, and we need to set protocols and put policies in place to make sure each and every child in our district not just meets the requirement, but exceeds such requirement as I know they can. It is important that we do this because the long-term effect of it, or results from it, as we will see, is that not only would be at number 17, I believe, as U.S. News and World Report have us reporting, we can move up there to the top 2, okay? So that's the answer to the PARCC test. Let's talk about what the district undertake regarding the whole child approach. Well, let me say, what is it really we're looking for in the whole child approach? Are we asking a question, or do we have sufficient data to point to the angle in which the question is being asked? I would strongly suppose, or actually ask the question for those who's asking so, whether or not we believe that the school district is investing sufficiently in the whole child. Here is my position. The whole child approach means that we are not just solely focusing on academia, but we focus on every element of that child well-being. And I believe all those elements come from things like not just in the household or their home, not just in the school environment, but more so the whole environment. Let's take the time to add some elements in a child's life. Let's bring some of the arts back to school. There are those who are going to say the arts are nonsensical and not necessarily useful in school. I may disagree. Music is definitely an art that is needed. Theater is an art that is definitely needed. Let us focus on some of those things. Give kids an opportunity to express themselves creatively. We have taken away a lot of that, and it's only fitting that we allow children to be children. But also remember, we have to add some rigors into the system to remind them tomorrow is not going to be easy if you don't work hard today. They must put their best foot forward. And we have to make sure that in helping them put their best foot forward, we balance that against the result we hope to see. Now, I want to answer another question I believe that came forward. The question asked was whether or not the students in the community were being unfairly challenged with a level of rigor that took away from their childhood. I think what is happening is that we're probably not putting enough of it in there, but we're also not cross-leveling and balancing it. Now, I stated this earlier on, and I think it's important that we do both. Let us balance what we're giving our children. Some kids live in well-housed communities, mom and dad, grandma, grandpa. Some kids are not so lucky. Most of us who live in the community can say that we've done pretty well for ourselves. Well, let's take into consideration those kids that don't have the same luxuries that we do. Let's give them an opportunity just as well. Let us not fear their competition with our children, but look at the benefits that they bring to the system as well. I can say that I know only too well when we talk about rigor in the system. Growing up in the Caribbean and being scolded by a teacher for not performing well. Well, I gotta say, the results of that rigor, I turned out to be rather successful. But at the same time, there was an opportunity for you to be a child. So let us make sure that we balance our programs. And finally, I want to leave you with, as a member of the U.S. Armed Forces, as someone who has defended this country time and time again, and I will continue to do so, it is my goal, it is my pleasure, it is my hope that I can count on you to do the same for your children, for the teachers of this district, for the families of this district. My name is Russell Melville. I hope I can count on your vote. Thank you.